lounging, son.
Welcome back to another episode of the Comic Lounge podcast. My name's Ryan, and I got the birthday boy with me. Dylan, it's his birthday. Say what's up, Dill.
What's up, guys?
So big happy birthday to you.
Thank you, bud.
It's
fucking 35.
Yeah, don't start, bro. I'm 33, and my body feels like it's 50. So,
dude, I feel like the opposite. Like my mentally, I feel 25, but then my body tells me I'm 50.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Physically, I feel 50 years old. Mentally, about 25. Yeah, I would agree. But yeah, so the book that we're talking about, like we said last week, for all you guys that listened to last week's episode, we're talking about Deadpool Classic Volume 9. And the reason we picked it is not just because of the Deadpool that takes place at the beginning of the trade. It's the last 6 comics in here, Agent X. And that is the book that pretty much, I would say, was kind of kicked off our friendship. We were kind of like talking a little bit in class before about comics, but this was the one we really bonded over.
A lot of nostalgia here.
Yes, and even as I was reading it, some memories came flooding back.
Same, dude.
So it was definitely a fun read. I read it early in the week, and I just couldn't stop. I meant to wait till the end, but I ended up reading both. I read Deadpool Classic 9. 10.
Okay. I want to read 10. I'm gonna read 10 next. I think I'm gonna start reading 10 tomorrow. But it's fun. We'll talk about it. But it's so much good times, bro.
Oh my god, yeah. So it was very fitting that this book landed as of the day we're recording. It's Dylan's birthday, the 3rd. So it was very fitting that this was the book that we picked, and I'm very excited to talk about it. But before we get into the book, let's talk about some books we read last week.
Yeah, let's real quick. Mariko Tamaki's Wonder Woman. Very solid. Yeah. It wasn't the best thing ever, but it also but it wasn't bad, you know what I mean? And also I also kind of feel like this is I feel like writers usually, especially with some of the books that we're reading, writers usually catch their stride by volume 2. Whatever they're fleshing out for the rest of their story kind of happens in 1 and kind of sets it up, and then everything gets better by volume 2 or the second story arc. That's kind of how I feel this is setting up for it. Has a lot to do with Max Lord. Max Lord is not a good guy now, but he's working for the U.S. government or whatever. Yeah, and he's helping Wonder Woman do whatever he needs to do, because there's someone out there that's controlling people's minds like Max Lord does. They touch on that, and then they find out who that is, and then they get over that story arc, and then now it's leading into Max Lord and Wonder Woman kind of teaming up, and they're partners now.
I like Mariko Tamaki. I just, like I said right before we started recording, it was just it sold out. I don't know if people were speculating on it or it was underordered because DC didn't do a good enough job of promoting that it was Mariko Tamaki's first issue.
They did not promote any of it. If it wasn't for me, actually freaking following Mariko Tamaki, I wouldn't have known about it.
Yeah. So, and that's a whole nother topic about promoting books.
Fucking shitheads.
But, I'm interested. I did read the first issue.
I think that first issue sold out for sure because, they introduced a new character. It's not really that great of a new character.
Yeah, well.
You know what I mean? It's not. It's it was punchline. No, so
yeah.
A different kind of Harley.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know. It's pretty stupid. Yeah.
Yeah. But solid. I'm not gonna get to single issues going forward, but I'm definitely gonna still keep on reading it. At the shop. What about you? Are you reading anything? What did you read?
What did I read? I feel like I read a lot. I read a lot of trades. A lot of old Marvel stuff.
I finished volume 5 of All New Wolverine.
Oh, nice.
That's what I did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm still waiting on the fucking... I need to order that omnibus, which is going to take forever, it feels like, to get here.
I feel like it's going to come in, the middle of the year.
Yeah, it's literally... I think April. So, I think from the books that came out last week, I read the next chapter, 10 of Swords, which I already told you before we recorded, was kind of, middle of the ground. Not great, not bad.
Multiverse's End, which was just absolutely wacky.
I know, it was just so fucking I could have lived without that book. I don't want to. I'm not saying it's horrible, but
it was unnecessary.
Coming off that speed metal issue which we talked about, like some of the tie-ins have been better than the main series or helping the main series. Then you have this, and I'm like, what the fuck did I just read? And then
at least we know what Guy Gardner's doing.
I guess. Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing, guys? Like, you fucking yelling at people. That's what he's doing.
Yeah, what he always does. You know what was kind of weird too, and I don't even care if I spoil it, was the Three Jokers issue. So first of all, okay, I was excited when this was first announced years ago. I was like, okay, I'm definitely down. I want to hear what this is about. The first issue I thought was solid, but I still am like, what is the point? What is the goal of this miniseries? Is it just to tell me that there's multiple Jokers? Because that's not very interesting to me. And then I kind of sat on it. I'm like, okay, like maybe this will be good. The art was phenomenal, by the way.
Art is fantastic. I can't get over it.
Yeah, and then we get this second issue. I don't know. To me, it had a lot of holes for me. Like, Jason Todd killed one of the Jokers, right? One of the three.
Death in the Family Joker, the comedian, right?
I think the comedian. He kills him, and Batgirl is like hating on him, dude. Like, we got to stop him, telling Batman, and Batman's like, well, he killed a Joker. So right off the bat, when Batman did that, I'm like, wait a second, dude. He just crossed the line of murder. And, and all of a sudden, like, your one rule of not only not using guns, but not killing, and you're just okay with it. So that was out of character.
Yeah, that bothered me too. Yeah. Super out of character.
And then Jason Todd just gets captured so easily, which is also weird. And then after they save him, okay, so that was kind of there. What I don't want to spoil that part. There was a little interesting moment between the Jokers and Jason Todd, but then you go forward, and all of a sudden now Barbara's not mad at Jason, where she was just trying to condemn him, and then they share a kiss, which was a little weird to me. And it's not weird in the sense that it happened. It was that it just happened so quickly. Like, there was no real lead up to it. Like, she had just hated him, but now she's kissing him. It made sense, like, in this aspect, right? And I think if it would have been more fleshed out, it could have been interesting. They both had a traumatic experience with the Joker. So they have that bond. That could have been something interesting that could have played out. Mm-hmm. But it was just like, all of a sudden they just kissed. I'm like, what? It felt disjointed.
It felt forced.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. So that was my issue.
Okay, I have multiple issues. I'm about to spoil the hell out of this. So if anybody is listening, you should hit that 15-second skip button like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you one more chance to hit those buttons. Okay, cool. So the 2 other Jokers revealed to Jason that it's possible that Jason will become Joker, right? That's cool. That's actually one of the more interesting concepts that I was like, okay, that's cool. And the way they linked it, it's like, oh, look at you. You literally died. You became the Red Hood. And then it's only natural that you become the Joker, the next Joker, right? We thought it was you. They even say it in the thing, right? You could have been the next one. That's cool. I think that's a really interesting concept. You know what I mean? But the thing that Jeff Johns is notorious for, Jeff Johns is like the king of red herrings, dude. I feel like everyone's expecting it's going to be Jason. Jason's going to be the freaking next Joker. But I think like at the end of this book, they're going to make it like Barbara or something. No, but dude. But think about it. Look, like even that conversation that Bruce and Barbara were having, right? When he's literally riding solo in the car and she's like driving in her motorcycle in the rain. Like, dude, you could have let her get in the car. First off. But anyway.
Yeah, what a dick. Yeah.
Yeah, what a dick. And then the entire time, he has the window up while he's talking to her. Right?
That's true. I didn't even pay attention to that. That's funny.
Right? Okay, anyway, they're talking, and then, they're kind of comparing Barbara and Jason and, like, their traumatic experiences, right? They even do it later on, like, before that kiss. How Jason finds the wheelchair and the therapy schedule in her closet. This book was doing a lot of comparison between the two, between Barbara and Jason, and how they both had traumatic experiences brought on by a Joker, but both of them came out of it different. Barbara said that she had the support group, she had family, she had the Bat family, while Jason, everyone thought Jason was dead, so he had nothing. You know what I mean? If you remember, like, take for instance the Killing Joke Joker, right? Remember his wife? Remember how his wife was kind of like that support system that kind of pushed him through and helped him get along? That's kind of like in the same sense, like, all it takes is one bad day. All it takes is one bad day. Barbara's going to have another bad day. Jason already had his bad day and he got through it because think about it. He literally got captured, literally beat almost to a pulp by the two Jokers, and he's relatively okay. You know what I mean? He's not like, I mean, how okay can Jason be, right? How okay can Jason be? But anyway, like I think this is the ultimate red herring because, like, circling back to the conversation that Bruce and Barbara were having, she was even questioning his motive, his Batman's choice to not go after Jason. You know what I mean? And then at the end of their conversation, like, how come how come you're not going after him like you did? And like, and then Bruce finally rolls down the window like a dickhead, and fucking says, "Well, I was hoping he'd be more like you, Barbara." So I feel like this is all going to come into play. I mean, this is just me speculating, obviously, but I feel like this is all going to come into play and something's going to happen and Barbara is going to somehow get captured or something and become the next, become a Joker within this weird little bat world. Is this canon, by the way?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think so. But I think that then, okay, well, and if it's not canon, then what's the point? Right. Of making her a Joker? It's just like there's literally one issue left. So there's not much that you can take away from this at the end because it needs to be capped off. So to make her a Joker at the end, I think is kind of weird, I guess. Maybe, you know what? Maybe he does something like kind of like the Killing Joke where it's left with an ambiguous ending, kind of open-ended, like you don't really know. Like you don't know if Batman killed Joker at the end of Killing Joke. Yeah. All you see is like it zooms out and you just see the ground.
Like I have a feeling that's where it's leading to. It's going to be an ambiguous ending. Yeah, it's going to be one of those cutaways where did he do it? Did he not do it? Like I said, like this would have been better a couple years ago because like for as long as it took, like the hype train died down and I probably would have been way into it more.
Yeah, I know. I just don't know how to feel about it after the second issue. I was a little more judgmental too of the first issue than like Nick was. Nick liked it a little bit more, but I feel like the
first issue. I did like the first issue. Yeah, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie.
I feel like maybe I'm too critical of it because of how much I care about DC characters. I feel like I care more than somebody that's more of a Marvel fan. I don't want to say you don't care about the DC characters. I'm trying to word it in a way that's not like saying you don't care.
I care about Batman.
Yeah, but I just feel like overall, like it's not just Batman, it's the whole world that I kind of am very almost like a caretaker. Like I'm just like, dude, don't fuck this up. It's kind of like how I felt about Wally. That pissed me off like to my core. It's not like I was just like, oh man, that book sucked. I was legitimately fucking angry, as if like somebody did a family member wrong. Like, that's how mad I was, dude. You know what I mean? Like, that's really how I felt. And so that's why I feel with DC, like, that's why I take it a little bit more.
This is how I feel about Deadpool. Like, how you feel about Wally, this is how I feel about Deadpool. About that, I'll talk about that when we talk about Volume 9. But I know exactly what you mean. I get it.
Yeah, it's annoying. Let's talk about one more book that came out this week before we jump into Deadpool, was the debut of Department of Truth. Yeah. It's funny because I was not even going to read it. I'll be honest. I'm not trying to be a dick or, hate on James Tynion or Tinian or however you say his name.
I say Tinian. And he's the fourth. Or is he the fourth or the sixth? I always forget if the I is on the.
He's the fourth.
Okay, cool.
He's the fourth. He's the fourth iteration of James Tynion's.
Oh yeah. So he's Earth Earth 53.
Right. He's James Tynion, the fourth of his name.
Fourth of his name.
So
writer of Batman.
So, oh my God. So I wasn't gonna read it until you told me that I should check it out, and then even as I was editing the episode, I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to read it. But I was editing it last week's podcast on Monday, so I'm like, well, I might as well just wait till I get the actual book in my hand. I read it and I was surprised.
Right? Me too.
I enjoyed it, but I still had some issues. First of all, some of the dialogue I didn't care for. I don't know, it just didn't flow for me. I don't even know how to really pick it out what I didn't like. But then, and the concept is very cool. The world building is really cool too. At first, though, too, like, you know how like the beginning of the issue takes place after JFK's assassination, and
like
then
immediately after.
yeah, and then it jumps, and I didn't pay attention because sometimes I gloss over like when they're like, "Oh, this is present day." Oh, this is
Meanwhile,
yeah. So I glossed over, and I'm like, "Wait, what? Were they talking about flat earthers and back then?" Like, and then I had to go back. I'm like, "Oh, okay. So we jumped forward in time. Now we're in the present day." So I did, like, after checking that out, I'm like, okay. I love the art. The art was phenomenal, and
really, dude,
yeah,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
really.
The art was the thing that I didn't like about it.
See, for me, it added to the element of, okay, this book is about a conspiracy theory. When I'm like looking at the art, I'm feeling like, okay, I'm watching an old video that was top secret, and it's in black and white, and it's all choppy, cool. And it's all choppy. So like, I put myself in that mind frame. So I'm like, okay, if this is what the goal is of the art, then it's cool. If it's like meant to look like that really like scratchy videotape, like that's been locked away and you're not supposed to have seen it, then like I'm down. If
like that old film reel kind of thing. Okay, right. I see that. All right.
So, and then like I got to work, I talked to Nick, and he's like, "Oh, he's like totally trying to go for like a Hickman vibe." Dude, like I see it.
I mean, kinda.
Have you read Black Monday Murders?
No, that's actually on one of my lists.
That's why you didn't feel like it was kind of Hickman-esque.
Yeah.
If you read that book, then you'll be like, "Oh, okay." You're gonna be like, I can see how like it kind of feels a little Hickman-esque, but that's not
Black Monday Murders. I'm gonna add that to my reading list. 1 second. But yeah, continue. I'm sorry.
Like I said, it's a good concept. The world building, it's cool. I'll keep reading. I think that the cliffhanger where it's Lee Harvey Oswald.
That shit was dope.
I think that could go one of two ways. People could either be like, "Oh, that's really cool," like you just said, or there could be that group that's like, "Wow, that's weird that you're kind of like almost putting him in the light of like a good guy, and he's the one that assassinated JFK." If you're the people that believe that he is the one that did it, I mean, I don't think there's people that believe that it's a conspiracy and he didn't do it.
The whole magic bullet thing, bro. It's like multiple people.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care. Like,
right.
Like,
so it didn't bother me. I was like, okay, what's going to happen next? You know, like it didn't bother me. But then Nick pointed that out. And that's kind of like the thing I love about like going into work on Tuesday or Wednesday is if Nick reads the issue and then he'll look at it from a different angle.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I appreciate Nick's perspective.
I feel like you and I, for the most part, will have kind of a similar perspective.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you and I usually tend to be on the same wavelengths with stuff. Like when I talk to him, he puts stuff in a different perspective. I like that because then I can like bring it to the podcast and then we talk about it and shit. So
yeah. And like I said, I appreciate Nick's perspective. I mean, I appreciate Nick, but I appreciate his perspective.
Mostly just his perspective. If we didn't have to deal with him and we just had the perspective, that would be cool too. No, I'm joking. Nick, I love you. You're probably not listening anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. But yeah, so like that, I think it's a dope book. I definitely think people should give it a shot.
It's a hell of a first issue, but where it goes from here is very important. It's excellent. It's excellent world building in one issue. I mean, they give you a lot of information, but I feel like I didn't feel overly bombarded with information like Hickman. Like, you know what I mean? And they gave you with the main character Cole. They kind of give you perspective on where he is in his career, right? Like, you know, where he is, and because you know he comes off really speculatory in the beginning because like that's his like specialty. Like, what is it? He's a professor at Quantico, which is like the school where FBI agents go to learn whatever their field is going to be, and his is like right-wing extremists and conspiracy theories on the internet. That's like his specialty. So he goes to the Flat Earther convention, and when he describes the Flat Earthers, okay, I watched that Flat Earther freaking documentary on Netflix. I forget what it's called, but I watched it. Me and my wife, dude. Not only is it hilarious, but it's also a little sad. And the way that Cole describes the Flat Earthers in this comic book is kind of like how it was described in that documentary. So I appreciated that. You know what I mean? As far as like all the conspiracy theories that this freaking comic book could possibly involve, dude, it's gonna rustle some feathers. Like there's like, I feel like we're gonna read some weird shit.
It's either gonna be really good or it's not gonna hit the mark. That's what I think. I don't think it's gonna be a mediocre book. I think it'll either start to get really good or it's gonna be like some of. I'm not trying to talk. I guess I am kind of talking shit, but it's gonna be like James Tynion's other work. It's either gonna be good or it's gonna not be good at all. Like that's how I feel like his work is. I feel like it just falls flat, and I'm just like, what's the point? Why am I why am I reading this? But I don't know. I have high hopes for it. I think it's definitely something that I'll continue to read.
Same here. I'll definitely continue reading it. Like I said, like it's very pivotal where they go from here and how it's written and how they tie in. I do like some of the involvement of some of like how they revealed the Earth was flat and how the whole lunar landing thing. That shit was cool. Like damn, that's crazy.
I know.
But the art though. Okay, the art to me like literally looked unfinished. I don't know. I don't know what it was about it. There were some blur moments where I was just like, you didn't have to blur moment that. And then, it was like during his recap, like they had these moments. It kind of reminded me of like Jason Shaw and Alexander, where all of a sudden they're monsters. Uh-huh. You know what I mean? But Jason Shaw and Alexander, like these art styles are very similar in that sense. It's painted. You know what I mean? But like with this, it didn't hit well with me because it was, I don't know. It just everything just looked too blurry and unfinished. But that's just my own personal opinion. Like.
Yeah, no, and I respect that because, like, I can see where you're coming from, but that's why I said, like, if he's going for that look, which makes sense, kind of, in terms of, like, this book is about conspiracy theories, and we're sitting in an interrogation room most of the time.
Yeah.
Then it's cool. But, because, like, I've seen his other work, and it doesn't necessarily look like that. He did a Black Crown book, and he did that Dying is Easy book with Joe Hill at IDW.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So his art didn't look like that there, but I liked it. I like these like weird styles, and it didn't take away from the book. So
I mean,
but I can understand. I can understand that it. Well, I mean,
it didn't affect my reading experience in a sense. Like it was more. I mean,
it kind of did, right?
I mean, it kind of did. It kind of did, but like, it wasn't something that I was like, oh, the art made this book terrible. Like, you know what I mean? No, it wasn't like that. It was just the art wasn't for me. I mean, maybe it may change going forward since a lot of this book is like mostly flashback and kind of like a dream sequence. Maybe it'll change because that last splash page when they did the big reveal over with Lee Harvey Oswald, I thought that picture was dope.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like I say, it may have been when like a lot of the flashback scenes were like those overtones of oranges and browns and tans. So it was kind of like a flashback. So I kind of get that. Like I kind of understand that. But like going forward, I hope it goes into like a darker tone to kind of like set the mood for me. But that's just me.
But like I said, I see exactly what you're saying, and so yeah, I guess you're right. If it starts to be that the entire time, no matter what's happening in the book, then maybe I wouldn't mind that style sprinkled throughout in certain moments, and then also like more of the style that I know him from the last series he was doing, which was that Joe Hill book. Either way, definitely anybody listening, if you haven't given it a shot, definitely go check that book out. It was pretty dope.
Yeah. Did you read Scumbag by any chance?
No, I haven't read it yet.
Okay.
I'll read it before next week if you want to talk about it. It's just so soon to talk about it, so I didn't want to rush.
No, don't worry. We'll talk about it. But
was
for
it good though?
Know, I liked it.
Okay. I can tell by your voice. I can see I'm picturing the look on your face right now. So like now I want to go read it.
It's a big ass smile. Let's see. He's basically a redneck secret agent.
Oh, I love it. Okay, all right. That's it. That's all you needed to say. I'll fucking read it. I'll read it today. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about our boy Deadpool?
Yeah, and our boy Alex Hayden. Yeah, absolutely.
You bet your ass a mundo. We're gonna talk about
ass a mundo. Oh my god.
Yes, dude.
All right. You want to start? I mean, it doesn't matter who starts. Like this, I could feel the excitement in both of our voices.
Yeah. The Amundo. I forgot. I was gonna start the episode off by using that as much as possible. Just so you guys know, the reason I said you bet your ass Amundo is because Alex Hayden. Who's Agent X? He fucking wants to add that to the end of every sentence. That's what he wants to be his kind of like catchphrase type thing. that's besides the point. Let me just read off the credits, and since you're the fucking birthday boy, I will let you fucking jump right in. So, First of all, this book, the writer of the book is Gail Simone, and then a shit ton of artists that are credited in this book, but mainly
a crap ton.
Yeah, so it's UDON Studios with Alvin Lee, Rob Ross, Eric Vedder, Ken Sue Chong, Arnold Sang, Andrew Ho, Omar Dogan, Calvin Lowe, Dave On, Shane Law, A0, TR2, LTRZ, and The Real IT. Goddamn, that was a fucking mouthful.
For those who don't know what UDON Studios is like responsible for like a lot of the late 90s and 2000s Capcom games. So like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, Street Fighter games, Darkstalkers, all the cabinets you see at the arcades with the friggin' stickers of everything. UDON is responsible for that, as well as the coinciding comics. So expect that. That's the kind of art we're dealing with here, which me personally, I love.
Oh, I fucking love it. I was trying to reach out to Alvin Lee to try to get him on this episode for your birthday, but he didn't answer me.
I met Alvin Lee
when
I was working at Riot, because he did character design for League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
And he was there, and I didn't know, but like he was there as a guest, and I was like, I served him some food, and I looked at him like, dude, you look familiar. And he's like, wait, are you Alvin Lee? He's like, yeah. It's like, dude. Like, this is like one of the first time I fanboyed at work. I try not to do that because it's like, try to be professional and shit. Yeah. But I served him, and I was like, dude, you're fucking Alvin Lee. Like, he's like, yeah. It's like, I love Agent X, and he just starts laughing. He's like, yeah, that's one of my most fun projects that I've done. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. But yeah, anyway.
So yeah, and then I also want to say the letterers are Dave Sharp and Corey Pettit. So I'm assuming the colorists are UDON. That's how they're classifying everybody that does any of the art under artists in this book. I'll give a brief recap. So the book starts off with Deadpool, and it. First of all, Gail Simone, she's responsible for my favorite Deadpool.
Yes.
She only writes him for 6 issues of Deadpool, and then she takes over when they change it to Agent X. So the beginning of it, basically Deadpool, it's he takes out the heads of like the 4 Winds crime.
It's a Japanese cartel, right?
And so then all of a sudden he's like in demand, and he starts his whole fucking like agency where he's a hired merc. Basically, you learn that he didn't even really kill them. He just thought he did because he fell through the fucking roof. The guy who really assassinated hates Deadpool, tricks him into coming
to Germany, his castle.
And there is where a big explosion happens. Deadpool's gone, and we start off Agent, and that's how Agent X starts off.
Wait. Let's talk about Deadpool for a second, because there's a couple of really hilarious moments in Deadpool that I absolutely love.
Yeah, okay. Of course. I was just telling everybody so that they kind of know why it changes into Agent X.
Yeah, okay.
It's because of that explosion. But yes, we cannot skip over the Deadpool issues because they are fucking hilarious.
They're the best. Because like I don't remember reading this part, because like when me and you started talking about Deadpool, like the first issue of Agent X had just come out, and you let me read that. But anyway, one of my favorite parts in this is okay, you know how one of his jobs was supposed to be to steal the Rhino's horn, right? And then the Rhino, him and Rhino are kind of getting into it, and they fight, and then they go to the gym, which is like a superhero gym where all superheroes go, but they have like a display case. Like the Rhino's choking out Deadpool, and how does he escape? By using one of the Ant-Man's spray cans and shrinks the Rhino. He just carries around Rhino like a little keychain.
Yeah.
And then when they're at home, he puts him in a hamster ball. Like the
best though is after he cuts the horn off, and he throws him in this little glass jar, and he feeds him a fucking Oreo. This shit is fucking ridiculous.
This whole book, like I feel like that kind of sets the tone for the rest of the book. Like this thing is just absolutely hilarious, and also we get to see one of my favorite like Deadpool sidekicks here, Ratbag
the homeless
the homeless guy.
Yeah.
I love how Deadpool just immediately takes him in like no questions asked. Like,
yeah, he just tells Sandy to hire him, and Sandy is one of the, I would say, one of the main supporting cast. She is probably the biggest supporting cast member of this entire run that Gail Simone did, and she's Deadpool's assistant, and she's the one that's basically running the day-to-day operations of Deadpool Inc. That becomes Agency X eventually.
Yeah. But there's a lot of this stuff is like just super funny. This is honestly the best Deadpool costume design that as well. I also feel that a lot of Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool portrayal is derivative of Gail Simone's writing.
I would agree with that. I mean, dude, there's a line when he goes. I think he's going to be the bodyguard for Dazzler, right?
Yeah.
And one of the guys, he's like, You've got powers, right? He's like, don't worry, I'm a super freak. He's like, a super freak. He's like, I'm super freaky. It's just like those stupid little jokes that they're just littered throughout this entire.
This whole entire thing is just like littered with like small quips and gold, and then like you know when they say that when they show the Dazzler has a stalker and he wrote her a comic. And then she's like, and then the guy hiring Deadpool's like, so what do you think? And like, Deadpool's immediate thing is like, guys know Jack Kirby, but.
Oh yeah, I like that. I like that line too.
But like this whole thing is just like littered with just absolute comedy, and this is just Deadpool. Like I think the jokes get better when freaking it turns into Agent X.
Yes, she definitely hits her stride, dude. And again, another one of the side characters that I liked was Taskmaster in here.
Best I love Taskmaster design ever.
Exactly, dude. This is the best Taskmaster you will see in comics. They got rid of some of the campier shit. They made him more of a fucking mercenary, with his costume design.
Very tactical, as opposed to like 1970s supervillain.
Right. And I like his relationship with Deadpool, and then what it turns into when the book turns to Agent X. Like I said, so I forgot to say too, is the whole reason that Deadpool goes, and Black Swan is the name of that assassin, that he goes to Germany to fight. And the reason he's going is because starting to lose his memory because he gets poisoned by, is his name Niho?
Yeah.
Niho.
Right. I want to say Nijo, but I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know. Japanese names are hard.
Oh, yeah. Nijo. Or whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah.
Basically, Deadpool gets poisoned, and he's losing his memory, so he has to
And losing his aim. He can't aim for shit.
Isn't his healing factor being affected as well, I think?
Well, not as bad as his aim, his cognitive senses.
Right. Okay, yeah.
But his cognitive senses and his memory. But his healing factor is kind of still there, which kind of leads into the whole Agent X thing.
And there's one issue in particular, or I guess you could call it a scene, which when Sandy ends up in the hospital beaten by her boyfriend, and Deadpool and Taskmaster are there, and she tells him that she doesn't want Deadpool to kill him, but she doesn't want to see him again. And he makes the promise not to kill, but Taskmaster doesn't. Yeah, he blasts him away, dude, in that issue. And I love how...
No. Taskmaster blasts him away, right?
That's what I said, Taskmaster.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I love that even in this dark moment, like Deadpool, like with his fucking weird sense of humor, is making her laugh, like, on the bed with his fucking dumb jokes. Yeah. I like that they took something... They added that layer of, like, why he's so protective of her, same with Taskmaster.
Yeah.
And they plant those seeds... But at the same time, they didn't make it. It's Deadpool, so you don't want to make it too like heavy-hearted. So they added that light-hearted sensibility to it, which
I really like the characterization here of like throughout this entire run with Taskmaster, because Taskmaster is just a mercenary. You don't really get to see like Taskmaster in general. Like I don't remember the last time I read anything with Taskmaster having more than campy freaking caption bubbles talking about being a supervillain. You know what I mean?
Oh, dude, the last time I saw him was in Amazing Spider-Man, the current run, during the Craven the Hunted storyline, and Taskmaster was such a little bitch in that fucking story arc. I hated it. I hate that they changed the costume back. Like it's just so fucking dumb.
I hate the boots that fold over.
I cannot stand that shit, dude. I hate that costume design. I hate it.
Yeah. But anyway, this Taskmaster I really thoroughly enjoy, even when he's like being a little douchebag. But yeah, so as the story progresses, there's a scene when Deadpool is confronting Black Swan, and kind of Black Swan kind of reveals his like a little bit of his power. He's like kind of like a brain hacker. Where he can like go into someone's mind and try to see if he can dig around there. There's a scene where he goes into Deadpool's mind, right? Mm-hmm. And then Deadpool's like, "Welcome to my nightmare." But then it shows then it shows like all the different Deadpools from Joe Kelly's run, from the original miniseries, from like all sorts of, you know what I mean? Just shows all those Deadpools. And then it's like boom, like, you know what I mean? And then it overloads freaking Black Swan's brain. That shit was like one of the best scenes for me.
I agree. I
was like, hell yeah, that's a hell of a way to, like, you know, say what's up to the old homies.
I know, dude. And I liked also in that scene too when Black Swan's about to kill Ratbag, Deadpool fucking forces him to fix his brain.
Yeah,
because Ratbag is just like, he's not only is he homeless, but like his brain is all fucked up. Like he's basically saying the most random shit, kind of like Deadpool says at moments that don't make sense. You know what I mean? And and I thought that was a cool little thing too with Ratbag. I'm sad that we never got to see him again because he just like he's only in that initial 6 issues. But I like that, you know, like that the way it ends right before we go into Agent X is. Deadpool like blows everything up, and he just says, "Ha! Now that's funny," and that's the way Deadpool is done. And then we get those like deleted scenes at the end.
Yeah, the bloopers.
Yeah, so stupid, dude.
The fucking bloopers. Like you can tell. Like I want Gail Simone to come back to Marvel, and I want Gail Simone to come back and write Deadpool, because I don't know, there's something missing. Okay. Here's my issue with Deadpool, kind of how you were earlier talking about Wally West, and you care about the character. I really care about this character. I really care about Deadpool. And a lot of that has to do with Gail Simone, you know what I mean? And what she did with Agent X and after Agent X and, like, you know, all that. Deadpool holds this very special place in my heart. And, like, you know, I think we talked about this one, like, years ago when the first movie came out, right? Like how he's not like comic fans' little secret anymore, you know what I mean? You know, I feel that now his comics are like try-hard comics. Like, you know what I mean? They just try to be funny. They try to be random. They try to be all this. They try to like recapture that lightning in a bottle that I feel like this particular run had. I don't know. There's just jokes now that I just don't like. Like the Jerry Duggan and Brian Posehn freaking run, that was okay. The whole thing when he becomes like the money man for the Avengers, I didn't like that. Like, I don't know. Like, Daniel Way did a fantastic job, too. I like Daniel Way's run.
That's the last time Deadpool was good.
Daniel Way's run was, like, by far one of my favorite runs ever. Especially, like, that first story arc when he, I think it's during a Secret Invasion when the Skrull come to the baseball field. He dresses up as the mascot to blow him up. That was
the first issue.
Yeah, like see, that was like one of my favorite issues ever. Yeah. And then you know how that story progresses into him wanting to kill himself. There is still humor in all of that, but it was also had a serious undertone. Like, you know what I mean? This kind of Deadpool is the kind of Deadpool that we need, like, always. I mean, it's hard to do that because you always want to move a character forward and not try to make the character stay stagnant and all that. But I just think that where they moved Deadpool's character to, it's not for me. Maybe cool for like the newer fans, but
I'm sorry, it's trash.
Yeah, right? Like, okay, trash. I didn't want to say it, but
I don't give a fuck. I will say it. That book has not been good. And no, like, sorry, Kelly Thompson, not trying to disrespect her either.
Yeah.
She's good on other stuff. No, dude, like, they need to find somebody different for Deadpool. Like, the first issue was horrible. It fucking sucked, dude. And like the series before, again, I didn't like that either, and it sucks because I do like Deadpool. I think that a common misconception with people is like, oh, like you said, like everybody knows who Deadpool is now. They're like, oh, there's no good Deadpool runs. No, you're just looking in the wrong spot, fucker, and you're also looking at the shit that just came out. This Gail Simone, the 2 trades that she writes are phenomenal. They're
so good.
I mean, we're not just saying that because of nostalgia. Like, I've read it multiple times. And it's so good. It's fucking hilarious. How often does a comic book make you laugh out loud? That is what Deadpool should be. Just like, I mean, they captured it in the film. I don't understand why they can't capture it in the comic books. But like now I feel like if you do it in the comic books, they're gonna be like, oh, you copied the movie. When that's completely not the case. You think that with Deadpool being so successful in film, they would try to have a successful book. I know it doesn't sell well because I work at a shop. I don't know how it sells in your shop.
Not well at all.
Yeah. Nobody's reading that book because it fucking sucks, dude. It really, I'm sorry. Like, I'll keep saying it. That book fucking sucks. And I wish I could read a Deadpool book. Like, I didn't even, like, usually I'll sub to a new Deadpool 1. You know what I mean? Like, I'll sub to it before it comes out because I'm
optimistic.
Yeah, I'm optimistic.
I want it to be good so bad.
This is the first time I didn't do it because I'm like, you know what? History shows that I'm not going to like it, so I'll just wait till it comes out. I'll read it, and then we'll see whether or not it's good. Yeah. And it wasn't. It wasn't good, and I haven't read it since the first issue, and I'm so sad that I can't read a fucking Deadpool comic. Like
you said, Daniel Way's run was like the last good Deadpool. And it's true. It really was. I also like how it tied into Remender's X-Force.
Yes. Oh, that was another good Deadpool. A depiction of Deadpool was in the X-Force run.
But I just feel like the Deadpool now, the Deadpool that people are getting is not the Deadpool that these people deserve. Like, if you really look at the Deadpool films, and if people are fans based on the films. If you look at that, like, even when Deadpool's riding the scooter, that's literally straight out of Simone's run. Right?
Yeah.
And then, in Simone's run, too, that's where Ryan Reynolds was casted. That's when he takes off his mask and is like, if you look like Ryan Reynolds mixed with a Sharpay, you'd be blah, 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 too. That's literally from Simone's run.
Yeah.
Right?
I forgot about that, yeah.
Yeah, dude. And this is when you and I were talking about it. Like, yeah, Ryan Reynolds would be great. Like, I remember this is one of those little memories that popped up in my head. I was reading it and I was like, and I looked at you. I was like, yeah, Ryan Reynolds would be great. See, so if you're a fan of Deadpool, you got to read Simone's run.
Oh, for sure. And these are easy to get. Deadpool Classic 9 and 10 are fucking easily available. You can even find them cheaper than cover price if you check on eBay. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think I got my volume 9 for like $9. And it's cover price. It's like 34 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about Agent X.
Yeah, we're talking a lot about Deadpool. I'll give you guys a quick rundown on why it changes to Agent X. Now, I and a lot of other people heard rumors that it was in part due to a royalty dispute with Rob Liefeld because he created Cable, he created X-Force, and he created Deadpool. Now, that was dispelled by Liefeld himself, and he said that that's not true. What was told was that they were trying to line it up or have it more identified with the X line, which is why they did Soldier X. And X-Force, I don't see why you changed that, and then X-Statics and then Agent X. I don't know which is true. I don't really care because I love the design of Agent X and I didn't really question it back then. Back then I just cared about whether it was a good comic. I think, as we've said already, the same creative team from that Deadpool run went 2 weeks late. It even says, in 2 weeks, stay tuned for Agent X #1. I loved the way Agent X looked. I loved that he had that X across his face. He kind of looked like he was very pale, like almost dead looking. So you instantly, and we don't know who he is. We think, obviously everyone's like, oh, that's Deadpool, right? Yeah. That was what
everybody thinks it's Wade.
Everybody thinks it's Wade. I mean, it's led to believe that. The way he talks, his sense of humor, everything about him is screaming Wade Wilson Deadpool.
Yeah, even when we were reading it as kids, we were like, oh, it's Wade.
Right. Spoiler alert, we learn it's not. I won't really say who he is because it's not revealed in this trade, so that if I still want to keep that mystery. Yeah, read it.
Read the book.
But I even liked his alias, Alex Hayden. I thought that was a cool name. Mm-hmm. And I just love, that Sandy is narrating, I think, in the beginning of this.
Yeah. No, I think it's Alex, but he's talking about Sandy.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, he's talking about Sandy. So obviously, that's another reason why people are would think that, oh, this has got to be Wade because why is he going to her of all places? And throughout, he still doesn't know. And then he's got the personality traits of Wade, but then he's got some other traits that don't really make sense. And we see that his healing, while he has a healing factor, it's not exactly as quick as Wade's was, and he's got really fucking unique skills with a gun, and that was how we learned that he has these gun skills is that Taskmaster comes over. It's his trainer, and he immediately as he's training him, one of the first things that happened is Sandy, just to like show him why he should train him, is she stabs him in the fucking stomach with
a fireplace
with a coat hanger. No, it's a coat hanger. It's a fucking coat hanger, and I mean just the training scenes, dude. Just fucking had me cracking up, dude.
His notes when because like Sandy tells him to write a journal about his training journal. Like his training journal pages are the funniest parts, dude. It's like day 3, beginning to suspect TM doesn't like me. Can't find foot. Beginning to hate TM.
Yeah, I know. And this is where he comes up with his Merc gimmick to use Amundo at every end. At the end of every sentence, and even as he got his fucking face bashed, he's like, "Ow, my nose, Amundo."
My nose, Amundo.
Yeah, dude, goddamn, dude. It's hilarious. Like you said, the training notes, and oh my god, dude.
Just even his own internal dialogue, his thought bubbles, they're just fucking funny.
The only thing with his costume design that I thought was a little odd were the fucking snowboarding goggles. That was always something where I'm like,
you could have done without that.
Yeah, like I don't hate them, but I was just like the orange too of the goggles was so
such an odd pick.
Yeah, it was just a little odd, but whatever. Besides that, the costume design is good. I love his first mission too, as he goes into the
working world.
Yeah, he goes into the working world, and you see him. He's trying to get a job, and nobody's paying attention. And he starts you hear this crack, snap, and pop, and everybody's looking down at his waist, and it ends up being his hand. And he says he's giving up his sex life for nothing. And who does he take on? Who takes him on? Is this dude with a fucking mullet?
And he's having a conversation with him, and all of his thought bubbles are like, "Oh man, I cannot stop looking at his mullet."
Yeah. He says that the mullet's gonna haunt his dreams, and he's like, "Good lord," as he's talking to him, dude. I'm telling you, you guys have to read this fucking book. We're saying, I have to say some of these jokes so that you guys know that this book is fucking hilarious, but we're still not even going to be able to do it justice.
No, not at all.
This book is literally something that will make you laugh out loud. You're not just going to be laughing in your head. I was legitimately laughing while reading the book.
Me too. I was reading some of it at work. During the slow time, I was reading it on my phone, and then the whole friggin' thing with the whole when he slips when he's trying to get the orangutan. And then as he's falling, crap him under.
Yeah, it's just so funny.
This is like feel good comics at its best. It's like a Police Academy movie with healing factor. It's just plain fun. Everything about it. And the art just brings that fun to life too, because it's just fast moving. It's beautiful, first off. The art.
I know. The art is amazing, dude. I love this. It's got, an anime style.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it. Like you said, the Capcom games. It really works for this book. It's really dope. You know what current book reminds me of this? What?
This is art style. 7 Secrets. It has a lot of feel of this as far as the artwork goes and the look of it.
I read the first issue. I'm blanking on the art style, but I'll give it I haven't read the second issue yet. I definitely need to check it out.
Oh, the second issue is better than the first.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then throughout the book too, all the characters are they're so great, and they complement one another so well. We have Crazy Inez.
Hey, you don't call her that, bro.
Yeah. And I love when after he sleeps with her and he rolls over and he sees the wig and it's insinuating that she's not a chick.
Yeah.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god. And that whole issue is the whole goal of that one was to steal the Punisher's guns.
Oh, yeah, that was a great one.
And he leaves, he lets them go, and he leaves them naked, and they're in a phone booth.
Full booth.
As he's driving away with her car, he's driving, and he puts on her cowboy hat, and he's listening to country music with the straightest look on his face.
No. He takes Taskmaster's car.
No, that's not. Is that Taskmaster's car? Are you sure?
Yeah, because when they're calling him, and they're like, and Taskmaster's on the phone, like on in the apartment with Sandy, and Taskmaster's like, picked up. Why do they need you to get picked up? Where's my car?
Yeah. And then and you know what? We're talking about the country music. Taskmaster is also a Spice Girls fan.
He's a Spice Girls fan. He has all of them, even the solos.
Yeah, I mean, dude, like I said, like there's just so much. There's so much in this fucking book. We meet another character, Mary Zero. We meet Hagashi. There's just so many characters. I mean, I could go on and on. I mean,
Saguri is dope.
I love that he ends up the guy with the mullet who had paid him to retrieve his animals that had escaped. He doesn't pay him cash. He pays him in an amusement park, and that becomes like their locale where
their base of operations.
Yeah.
He's an amusement park owner.
Yeah.
This book is fun, dude. That's what it is. Like at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, it's literally fun. This is the most fun I've had reading in a long time. And
same here, dude. That's why I couldn't stop at just this one. I had to finish off and go to the next.
I'm gonna start the volume 10 probably like tomorrow, but this is just fantastic. Everything I cannot get over how just great the story writing is, and like pretty much throughout this whole entire volume, it has you guessing. I mean, obviously I know the answer. Like has you guessing on whether or not he's Wade.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, I remember I just runs it back right to when we first were reading it as kids. Like, man, it has to be Wade, right? It is Wade. Like, there's no other way. Like, and then it's not, but like, it's really cool. It's a lot of fun, and the art accentuates it. The script writing is fantastic. The characters are lovable, like every single one of them.
Yes,
every
I
single
agree,
one
dude.
of them.
This is like anybody that's a fan of Deadpool, or if you're a fan because of the movies or whatever, and you've been looking for a good book, pick this up. I highly recommend it. I know Dylan highly recommends it.
Extremely.
It's good on many rereads. I've read this book so many times. So many. I've read it. I've read the single issues that I have because I have all the singles from the Agent X run at least. And I've read those multiple times. I've read the trades multiple times. And it's just always good. It's something that we don't have any other superhero book that gives me the same feeling now. You know, like this is something that's missing. And I wish that the Agent X character was still around. I wish that they utilized him.
He made like a slight cameo in one of the recent runs. I forget which run it was in, but he made a cameo, and it was slightly. Oh, and Black Swan. Well, I'm not gonna say what ends up with Black Swan, but he makes a cameo too because I don't want to ruin Volume 10 for people.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot. I'm trying not to ruin that Volume 2 so that we don't take anything away from it. I love this fucking book, dude. I really do. I mean,
it's so much fun.
this is what made me a fan of Gail Simone. It's not any of her other books. She did a great run on Birds of Prey at DC. Yeah. She's done other stuff as well. But this is what I love about her work. And this is one of the most underrated books that she wrote. I feel like it doesn't get shined at all, and that's why
much love.
That's why I'm really glad we we're putting a little bit of light onto this book.
Also, closer to the end of the book, when they do a little cameo of the Tarantula and Batroc Zelipel, their daughters. The daughters of Tarantula and Batroc Zelipel.
Yeah.
Even the dialogue.
I know. I mean, the only way for us to really get it across would be for us to literally read page by page.
Yeah.
To tell everybody. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no way to like really convey the humor the way that they do in here. And that's what we're talking about too, is like the dialogue and the art together just create the perfect synergy of humor, dude. That just my God, dude. I want to read it again already. I already want to read it.
I'm really looking forward to reading 10, like ASAP.
Yeah, I wish I would have taken my time a little bit, but I couldn't help it. I was like, fuck, I'm already done with this. Like, I gotta go to the next.
Yeah, but it's good. Like, it definitely. I mean, like nostalgia stuff aside, like honestly, like people, if you enjoy humor and just need something lighthearted that isn't a freaking universe scale event and something that you actually don't really need too much backstory, because it's like everything is all pretty much self-contained. All you got to do is put your mindset in that, like, that Deadpool is still kind of poor here. And you know what I mean? And
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, Deadpool's mental state can be measured on his thought bubbles, right? like in this one, he's just singular thought bubbles, and the person he's bouncing all the crazy off of is Ratbag. But then, like with Daniel Way's run, he has like the two thought bubbles. He has the British one and the crazy one, and then his outer voice, right?
Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? That's where you can measure it. But this is peak Deadpool. This is peak Deadpool. Like, the Joe Kelly one was funny, but wasn't this funny?
Like, no, dude, not even close, man. Not even close. Yeah. I've gone back and I think I'm up to like volume 5 in the classics. Yeah. And then I skipped ahead to number 8 because 8 is that one where Deadpool and Punisher on the cover.
Yeah.
So I have that one, and that one's good, but it's all about this, dude. If I had to pick one Deadpool book to take with me to a fucking desert island, this would be it. You know what I mean? Like if I had to pick one book from every character, and like this would be the Deadpool one.
Agreed.
No other comic will make you laugh like this. No, I know I keep saying it, I keep repeating it, but there is no other comic book that has had the ability to make me laugh as hard as this book has made me laugh. Because
the humor of it, it's really stupid. Like, damn. Well, like, no, I'm not saying stupid. Like, you have the mental capacity of a stupid person. It's just that it's fucking silly.
But it's silly and it's stupid, but it's clever at the same time.
Yeah.
Because like she does it in such a way, dude, that it doesn't necessarily come off as stupid. You're like, damn, that's so stupid, but fuck, that's hilarious.
No, like the peanut scene. I literally put it on my story because it was just so good.
Yeah.
The peanut scene where Deadpool is explaining the existence, the self-contained existence of two peanuts within a shell.
Nut porn.
Yeah, nut porn. Nut porn is what it is.
Let's dance, you hot, salty nut.
Yeah. And doorknobs. You can't forget about doorknobs.
Yeah.
Doorknobs don't kill people. I do.
Yeah. All right, I think we gotta stop. We're gonna lose people if we just keep fucking doing this. All of you need to go out and check this book out. Even if you're not a fan of superhero stuff, I think you'll enjoy this. Like Dylan said, like you don't really need much backstory. It's enough out of the main Marvel universe that you really don't need to even know. Like,
and it's literally what it is. It's literally action comedy.
Yeah. It's perfect. It's just perfect, flawless in my eyes. So go check it out.
Yeah, I mean, if I say any more about Deadpool, I'm just gonna ruin the whole fucking thing.
I know. It's hard not to spoil it. It's like in a trailer when they say all the jokes in the trailer. I don't want to say all the jokes. I want to give you guys just a little bit to kind of lure you in so that you'll check it out.
But yeah, let's move on. Let's go. What do you excited for next week?
American Vampire is making its return. So I'm pretty stoked about that. Got another issue of Firepower. Been loving that. Yeah, I've been loving that.
Stoked. Oh, hey, so about Shang-Chi. So Shang-Chi,
oh yeah,
the first issue.
Yeah.
So, okay, reading the first issue just made me want to read Firepower. I mean, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't great. Like I prefer. I feel like Firepower is kind of like my go-to kung fu comic right now. Yeah,
for me, it's two different stories, but I really enjoyed it. I thought that the art was phenomenal.
Oh, the art was great.
So I'm very interested. Plus, I'm really a huge fan of Gene Yang's work. So I definitely am excited to see where it goes. I could see that if you're looking for just like straight kung fu, Firepower would be it. I think this is more trying to flesh out a little bit of the backstory for him, which he's never really had, kind of playing off of some of the stuff that the Immortal Iron Fist, when it created all that backstory too. So I think it's playing off of that a little bit as well. But yeah, I think it was great. I'm definitely excited to see where it goes forward. But Firepower, yeah, every time it's come out, I'm fucking stoked about it. You know, we got another issue of Thor, which I told you I think I'm close to dropping it if it doesn't blow me away. We got the
Decorum 5.
I'm waiting. I'm not even reading it, to be honest. I'm not. I don't have the patience. I'll read it when it's done.
I'm already disinvested. Like
I know. I stopped after issue 2 because I was like, you know what? I love it, but I'll wait till it's done. I think it'll read better as a complete story. That's just my opinion. But then we also have the anniversary issue of Amazing Spider-Man, which
750.
850.
850. Damn it, that's a lot.
Yeah. So I'm pretty excited about that. This current arc, I tried it out again because I kind of missed reading Spider-Man, and it's been pretty solid. And Green Goblin's coming back, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Other than that, I think I have like another Justice League issue from Metal is coming out. Miles Morales issue. Young Justice is almost over, so
I got all those except, and then I got Deceased. Deadline number 4. I think they're closing in on a cure, guys. Hello. There's like 4 more issues to this.
Yeah, I haven't. I think I read it. Yeah, I read issue 3. I can't really remember what I read. I just know that I didn't like it as much as I liked the first one. We also have, Batman 100's coming out. Ooh, can't wait for that.
More punchline.
Yeah, and then fucking what? 1, 2, 3 tie-ins to 10 of Swords.
Ooh.
There's 3 tie-ins: Marauders 13, Wolverine 6, and X-Force 13. Oh, there's a Beast Timeless cover though, so that might be dope.
There's also a Wolverine Timeless cover.
Oh god, yeah, that looks dope as fuck. These Timeless covers have been really sick.
I have the Ghost Rider one so far, the Storm one, and Iron Man.
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. Yeah, they're really cool. I love Alex Ross. But yeah, I think that's it for what I'm excited for this week. I mean, there's other books coming out, like Getting It Together, which I did an interview with the creators on the channel. That's also debuting. They sent me the first 2 issues, so I read the first 2 of that.
Nice. You know what I'm excited for next week?
What?
I'm super excited to get your brother on here so we can talk
Sandman.
Oh,
yes, that's
We're doing
right.
Sandman. That's tomorrow. That's
right.
tomorrow. That's next week, dude. I'm super hyped for that.
You know what?
I'm going to do it differently, though. I'm going to do it because I recently just did a reread of Sandman anyway, but I'm going to do it. I've literally been putting on pause to listen to the Audible, so I'm going to do it with the Audible and the book at the same time. It's going to be dope.
All right, yeah, I'm very excited. This will only be the second time I'm reading Sandman Volume 1.
Really?
Yeah. I was late to the game, dude. I was late to the game with Sandman. Okay. So it was a few years ago that I finally picked it up.
Uh-huh.
I read the first one, and then I think I was going back like every week for the next one. I would get one at a time. And yeah, I love the series. There's a couple trades where it like felt like it dragged on a little bit for me.
Yeah, like the whole the Hurricane one.
Yeah.
I hated that one.
But yeah, I'm definitely excited to read it again for another read, and I'm definitely really stoked to finally have my bro on the fucking channel. That'll be fun, dude.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun. But yeah, so that's what you guys can expect for next week. Next week.
Yes. There you go. And
I just can't talk, dude.
I know it's okay. I have that problem too sometimes. That's been another episode of the Comic Lounge Podcast. Make sure you are following on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Comic Lounge. Throw your comments, suggestions down below, or you can email us, thecomicloungepod@gmail.com. Make sure you hit the subscribe button on whatever you're listening to us on. We're on YouTube, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes. Also hit the bell icon on YouTube, and then you'll be notified every time a new one goes up. And on that note, we're out.
Catch you later, Amundo.